Hi, this is Dave, Fell Running Guide. Welcome to this week's navigation task. I've got a route choice task for you this week. So how would you get from A, the disused quarry, over to B, the currick there? So if any of you don't know what a currick is, you need to look at last week's navigation task because we discussed that. So I want you to think about how you would do it in good visibility, and if you do anything different or what you'd do different in poor visibility in fog, for example. So let's have a look and think about what we could do. So the quarry is only 300 meters at most from this bridleway, and we can see underneath the bridleway we've got a double dashed line as well. We've got some black marking, so that indicates that it's a path on the ground as well as just being a public right of way. So if we follow it down to this point here, it crosses this stream. There's no FB marked on the map to say footbridge, but there's obviously a river crossing there, so we might want to use that. And then we've got a track that goes all the way along here close to our destination. The bridleway continues north off the map. So if we were to head down and follow this, cross the river, do we need to go up to this junction and back on ourselves? So that's maybe another 500 meters north just to come back again. So could we get to this point here where this wall or fence line comes down and then just head straight across in a easterly or slightly north of east direction, pick up this track and continue along there? That makes a bit more sense than adding extra distance. If we didn't see this track, if it's indistinct on the ground, then we wouldn't overshoot too much, because see here the contours start to rise very steeply. So if we got to within a couple of 100 meters where the ground starts to rise steeply, we'd know we'd overshot this track, and we could simply walk along the break of slope where the ground starts to steepen, follow it down in a southeasterly direction, and it will lead us back onto the track. And this sheepfold here, you see this little walled area, so if we got to there we definitely know where we were, but hopefully we'd be able to cut across, find the track and come along. Now the sheepfold is important because it gives us a definite known place, and if we were to measure our distance from the sheepfold along to just below the currick, we'll probably find that that is bang on 200 meters. 200 meters, 2,000 meters, 2 kilometers. So it always pays to have a good idea of how quickly you cover a kilometer. So if you're running along there, you might say, right, well, I'm going to do a kilometer in 6 minutes. If we're walking along there, you might say, well, it's going to take me 12 minutes. Obviously, it depends on you personally, but have a good idea of how long you're going to take to cover a kilometre, and then obviously you can double that to put you close to there. If it was a good visibility day, all you'd need to do is run or walk along here, just maybe glancing to your right over the other side of the hillside, and note this stream coming down, tick off that one, another long stream coming down, tick off that one, and then the third major stream coming down from the hillside to the south is this Great Bleaberry Gill, and we could stop directly opposite that stream and simply walk up, counting our paces, 400 meters, and hopefully see the currick in good visibility. So that would be our good visibility option. Simply leg it along till you get opposite Great Bleaberry Gill and go up to find your destination. Yeah, that's easy. What about, could we make it any shorter? Could we cut this corner completely here and maybe get to this point and go a direct line across and in and up the other side? Well, one thing the map doesn't show us is what the terrain's like. So we don't know whether this is really rough, tussocky, heathery ground or whether it's a nice grassy hillside. Obviously, if it was a nice grassy hillside, you might be more inclined to go across this way. But if it's really rough ground, it might be better staying on a good track. And that might be a decision you make once you see the ground. But if you did go directly across, you've got one water crossing, two water crossings, and then the third one. And we don't know how much water is running in that from the map. So that's an option you could do. Maybe an orienteering mountain marathon type line might take you directly across, whereas if you're just out for a run or a walk, you might stick to the track for longer. So that's that. Reasonably easy. What about the bad visibility option? We need to look at attack points and tick off features and things like that for this one. So I think sticking to the initial plan would be good. Coming down here, crossing the stream again, cutting over to find it, because you're just as likely to find it by going directly to it as you are coming up here and looking for the track going up on your right. So minimize that distance. Again, use this sheepfold as a definite kind of tick off feature, and then in bad visibility we're more wanting to tick off features as we go along. So this feature here with the stream coming down, and then second stream here, and then this stream with a Y in it. If we measure the distance from Sheepfold to this Y stream, we'll find it's 1.5 kilometers. And again, using timing to give you a good idea of when you're going to be there. In bad visibility, we wouldn't have the luxury of being able to look over to the other side of the hill to see these streams coming down. So for this one, then get to this known point, and then what we might want to do is, again, timing, aim for this feature here, this stream that's beyond our destination, find it, pace up the stream for 75 meters, and then simply come back, contouring along for a couple of 100 meters to look for our destination. That's better than estimating that we're somewhere along here and going directly to it, because what if we were slightly short of it and we didn't know where we were, or slightly beyond it, we didn't know where we were. So it might be better to definitely go beyond it, go up to the elevation that it's on, and then back in, pacing for a couple of 100 meters along there. What's going to stop us blindly running off the map along this track? Well, we'll see here at the second stream, the track makes a definite change of direction. It goes from running almost due east to northeast. So that would be a catching point. It was catches and tell us, wait a minute, we've gone a bit too far here. And we could use that stream if we wanted to do exactly the same, walk up to the end of it and then walk back on a contour, adding another maybe 100 meters or so. So those are different ways of doing it. I'll just put some arrows on the map for you. So those are some of the key things to look for. Probably the orange arrows, and then with this little extra that I mentioned in poor visibility, and then these are the main features to be looking for, the purple circles, and then these features here in good visibility, and our options are the blue arrows that we discussed. So hope that was useful, interesting. You might have done something completely different, but just food for thought and some strategies that you could use. Anyway, thanks for watching. Look out for next week's navigation task. Bye for now.